Hello and welcome to the Rick E. Gather God Gaming God Guide for Lions. This guide is meant for people who are either just starting and want to learn more about lions and gathering and what it is, all the way up to people who are trying to optimize their particular gathering and want to learn a couple tips and tricks. I've seen a lot of poor information out there in the world about lions gathering and what it looks like when it's done well. I've seen a lot of guides, and none of them have really satisfied me, so I created a guide myself that is full of all of the information I would find useful when I just started. However, this guide specifically will not discuss silver per hour of this activity. That depends too heavily on personal things, such as gathering mastery, whether or not you cook the meat, if you cook the meat, what your cooking mastery, all of that depends on you. So if silver per hour is what you're after, check the description for Chibi Calc, which is a super easy to use tool that you can input all this information for yourself, and it will spit out a silver per hour number if that's the thing you're after. This guide is not for that. Keep in mind that any guide that provides a pure silver per hour number in any capacity is likely to be misleading. The main reason you would gather lions is because you're interested in having lion meat, which is used to craft King of Jungle Hamburg, which is used to craft Valencia meal, which is used in imperial cooking. As of right now, the NA market has over 1 million pre-orders on lion meat, while King of Jungle Hamburg is very expensive. This means the cooking is very profitable, but there's no lion meat available to buy. Our primary method of acquisition is going to be lion gathering. Importantly, this activity is good at all gathering and cooking mastery points. So I don't want to hear anyone else say that they're not high enough mastery to do lions, because that's not true. Let's take a look at exactly where lions are. So this is the region. The area is called Ankado Coast, which is stuck right between Valencia City and Shakatu, about right in the middle. It's very close to Ankado Inner Harbor. The primary region is going to be where this compass circle is. That's where most of the lions are. So, what are lions? Lions are aggressive monsters, and this is very different from almost all other gathering mobs in the game. However, they are still not particularly strong. You will only really need Oasis weapons to kill them, but better gear is noticeable at this spot, which is different from lots of gathering spots. There are 3 different mobs that we're going to be killing, and they all provide the same amount of meat. There's the baby Valencia lion, which is the smallest and weakest. We call them babies, and they aggro you below level 60. There's the Valencia lioness, which looks like a baby, but it's larger. We call them mamas, and they aggro you below level 61. The final one is the Valencia lion, which is the biggest and has the mane. They're also the strongest. We call them papas, and they aggro you below level 62. In other words, all of the lions will stop being aggressive towards you past level 62. This is ideal because you want the lions to aggro to your horse instead. For this reason, I would recommend not gathering lions until you are at least a level 61. This is because each pack can only have 1 papa, and that aggro is manageable. It's much easier to manage 1 lion being aggressive towards you rather than 8 or 9. So what exactly are you doing? In essence, lion gathering is no different from any other gathering. You go to a location, kill and gather everything around you, and then go to the next spot and do it again. The complicated part of lions is how you do it, specifically how to do it well. As of recording, the most effective known strategy to gather is by using a horse to travel between packs. It would be possible to just travel this distance on foot, but the packs are so spread out that it ends up being faster to use a horse. In addition to simply making you travel faster, the horse also gives the lion something tough to aggro to. If they aggro to you, they would kill you since you don't wear any armor, you wear Manos gear, but you want them to aggro to something so that they will clump up and be easy to gather. The perfect solution to this is to use your horse. While technically any horse is capable of filling this role, The optimal horse will be the fastest you can get that has the following skills: charge, drift, and instant excel. Nothing else is mandatory for a horse to be properly usable at Lions. Ideally, you would also have these skills: S instant excel, quick ride, and courser's spirit. Notably, courser's spirit is a dream horse exclusive skill. The reason a dream horse is good for gathering lions is because your horse will be taking damage because it will be getting hit, and courser's spirit will heal all of that back. Without it, your horse will need carrots and carrot juice in order to maintain its HP. So now I'm gonna give a brief overview of basic horse riding skills. This will not be particularly useful for people who are already experienced, but hopefully this will help a bunch of beginners who just want to know the basics for how to do this for lions. So the reason you want the 3 skills I mentioned, which are instant excel, drift, and charge, is because you can do this sort of very quick movement, even just from being completely still. You can start drifting and instant excelling. I have S instant excel, which isn't necessary to perform this, so I'm actually going to turn it off. So typically when you're riding your horse, anyone who's used instant excel knows that you can just dash forwards, but then it's got a cooldown. I'm spamming F right now, and then I use it again. It's got a cooldown. But after you drift, you're able to instantly use instant excel again, as you can see. But it's usually if I were to just drift here, I have to go through that whole long animation, you see? So, when you're doing this, you want to have your WW hotkey bound, which is in action hotkeys. If you scroll down, I have it bound to a button on my mouse. You want to have that held down. You can see my horse is starting to move forwards. And then, as you drift and hold down F for instant excel, your horse will immediately stop drifting as soon as you let go of the buttons to do that. So this is what it looks like in action when you're just drift canceling. You want to let your instant excel run out pretty far. You can see when your horse starts to slow down. I hit a hill right there. You can see when your horse starts to slow down a little bit. That's when you want to trigger the drift. It's easy to get a feel for it. You may notice as you're doing that you need to start moving. So from a complete standstill, you can't. I'm trying to drift, but it's you see it's triggering sideways. And I can't instant excel either. I'm spamming F. Eventually it'll let me go because I've got enough speed. But this is the reason you want to have charge, is because when you charge, you immediately from a standstill get some moderate speed. So what you can do is you can charge and instantly drift, and then you can hold down your WW key and just be instantly into the combo. So from completely still, you can charge and then start drifting into instant excel. And this is the movement you want to do to get between packs when you're doing lions. If you have SIA, then you can, if I turn that on, you then have 2 instant excels before you need to drift again, which is nice, and it is faster because drift is the slow part of this, but it's not mandatory. You can do it without it. All you need is instant excel. The last crucial technique for horses is how to properly mount and dismount. So from having your weapon out, usually when you just walk up to your horse and press R to mount it, you have to put your weapon away and then you climb on. However, if I were to hold down W as I do this, it combines the 2 animations into one. So that's very clearly much faster. Here's the original again. And here's the sped up one. That's much faster when you're mounting your horse. Additionally, when dismounting your horse, as you can see, if I were to just be at a standstill and then get off, I would not have my weapon out. And additionally, if I'm going quickly and then I hold down S and get off my horse, I don't have my weapon out. However, if you go quickly and then press S and then hold down W as you get off your horse, you have your weapon out. So that way, if the scorpion was a lion, for example, I can get off my horse and then instantly kill it without having to take my weapon out again. And then when I'm done, I can get back on my horse by holding W, and I don't have to put it away. So by condensing both of those animations, you save a lot of time mounting and dismounting your horse. Here's an example of what typical quick movement would look like after gathering lions. I've just finished my pack, so I get on my horse, and then I charge and instantly dash. I arrive at the next pack, and I jump off and hold W as I do, and my weapon is out ready to kill the next pack. There's an advanced technique you can do as you mount your horse. As you get on, quickly mouse move and point in the opposite direction with your mouse cursor. This will turn your horse around completely, as well as start it moving immediately. So, the practical application of this is, if your horse is pointing this direction, but the lion pack is over that way, you can get on your horse and point it in the opposite direction and then immediately start charging. That way you don't have to spend a lot of time turning around all the way before you start charging. Instead, you can just get on and then start charging immediately. This saves a lot of time. This is the conclusion of the Intro to Lions Gathering section. In summary, lions are aggressive, moderate-strength monsters who you can butcher to get lion meat, which is used for cooking King of Jungle Hamburg. They're found at Mankato Coast, and the fastest way to travel between packs is by using a horse. I've outlined a couple of basic techniques to make your travel faster. In this next section, I assume at this point you're familiar with the activity itself and why you're doing it, and are interested in optimizing your gathering speed. Compared to other spots, Lion has a lot of different avenues of optimization. The examples I'm going to go over in this section are horse quality, such as speed or desirable skills, gear quality, for example, a tech attuned to enable better skill choices, better skill choices themselves, since skills that are faster are typically weaker, so you need to find a balance that kills the quickest, advanced horse and gather techniques, and personal mechanical skill. Horse quality is out of the scope of this guide. Check out the BDO Horse Discord or any other horse guide to get a better understanding of where horse speed comes from. Gear quality is relatively simple. More damage is better. This is a PvE activity, so Pen Blackstar and Pen Katoom would be best in slot. If you feel like you need an upgrade, get it. The remainder of this guide will focus on the remaining 3 points of optimization I listed, but don't consider my list totally exhaustive. Every skill that does damage can kill a lion. However, you want to do this very quickly, which usually means using a fast skill. Fast skills usually do not do very much damage, so you need to find a balance between speed and damage such that you are able to kill the lions quickly without spending a long time casting your skill. The optimal skill for each class is not something I can provide, but I can guarantee it exists and is close to every other skill for every other class. In other words, class choice is not particularly important for gathering lions. This is particularly good for shai players, since they are at a disadvantage when it comes to most ground-based gathering activities due to their clunky and slow movement. Shai is a great example of how skill choice matters. For example, using Twirl 3 will certainly kill all of the lions, so it may seem like a fine choice. However, using the Rabam skill Twirl Boom is much faster, and is perfectly suited for this activity and is my personal recommendation. In terms of gather-specific techniques, a common complaint people have is that they keep getting on their horse accidentally when they mean to gather. This is because your character prioritizes getting on your horse over gathering, if not given specific instruction. By mouse gathering, we can guarantee your character targets the lion over the horse. However, this is not trivial, since it's relatively easy to accidentally right-click on your horse instead. This is why I recommend using the couple seconds your character is spending gathering to make sure you can target the next lion corpse. You may need to reposition the camera in order to better see the corpses, but just wait until you see your cursor lock onto and highlight a corpse. It takes a bit of practice and can be annoying at first, but it's rewardingly comfortable when you're used to it. Lions have reasonably long aggro ranges, but you need to make sure your horse isn't obstructed. If there is a bush or a rock between a lion and your horse, it will not be able to see your horse. Therefore, you want to path and park your horse in a way that all of the lions have an opportunity to see it. This is something you want to get a feel for, as every pack can be approached from every angle. If you want specific advice on any pack, ping me in the Life Skill Discord or leave a comment with an image and I can try to help. In order to gather quickly, after dismounting, you immediately want to kill a couple lions and gather them while the rest clump up. Don't wait for them to all clump up before killing them. This will take too much time. After you gathered the first couple, kill the rest, gather, and get on your horse to the next pack. Personal skill is something that can only come with practice. Now you know how to perform a lot of different techniques. Mastering them will come with time. It's difficult to describe exactly where you should park your horse and how to path it. That sort of thing only comes with experience. This concludes the advanced section of the guide. The following section is called the Gather God section, but that's only because it is the most advanced and complicated section. This section is likely not going to be useful for most people. All it will go over is rotation optimization. And for most people, it's much easier to just pick a popular rotation and master the techniques. You will be perfectly fine following that strategy. However, you may be interested in personally optimizing your rotation and doing it yourself. When I started, I didn't trust any of the popular rotations, and I didn't think they were perfect, and I found ways to improve on them. Rotation optimization can get complicated, so I'm going to try to simplify it the best I can in the way I understand it. It's important to note that lions are on a respawn timer of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This can vary, but it can only be slightly faster, not slower. A naive solution would be to just pick a group of lion packs that are close together so that you reduce the time spent traveling between lions, but the number per pack varies as well. Some packs can have 5 lions, while others can have 10. It's equally as good to take 10 seconds to get to a pack of 10 as it is to take 5 seconds to get to a pack of 5. Therefore, you not only want to optimize pack distance, but also pack size. To do this, you'll need to be familiar with where every pack is, the number of lions in the pack, and the distance to every other nearby pack. To my knowledge, no such resource exists, so this part is up to you as an explorer. If this sounds out of your comfort zone and you just want to gather, I don't blame you. Feel free to copy any of the popular rotations, especially those on the map. You have my guarantee that they're all perfectly fine. This concludes my Gather God guide for lions. I hope you found it useful, regardless of if you're a beginner or advanced player. If you're interested in specifically a rotation, then I'm going to release a separate video that goes over some of the popular ones so you can pick your favorite. It'll also have my personal favorite in it, which I will make clear. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the flip side, alligator.